On May 26th, this quiet place for respect violated. Landon Wayne Johnston admits he damaged, knocked over, and shattered more than 30 headstones, marble vases, and statues. Police found him thanks to a post on Snapchat. The post included a picture of a missing headstone that was taken the same night as the vandalism.
Are you serious? I was joking.
What am I being detained for?
You're being arrested for criminal mischief.
Okay.
I'm going to talk to you a little more. Try to give you a chance to save some face and get out of here.
Alright. Can we at least
together like your friends?
Do you mind if we go out the back door not to cause a scene? Thank you.
Yeah.
Katie, will you just clock me off?
Yeah, I got it. You gotta tell me where the back door is.
It's out this way. You're gonna have to move that.
Hey, if you wanna go grab the car, I got him.
Okay. Thank you.
How do you get back?
It's right behind.
Just take the alleyway, yeah.
Appreciate you guys taking me out this way.
Yeah, no worries, man. We don't want to, ruin anything for you.
Right. So he said I was being detained for criminal mischief?
Yep.
Okay. What exactly does that entail?
So criminal mischief is just a charge. Is how we classify the charge.
Gotcha.
We're gonna want to interview you later.
Yeah.
To do that, since we are detaining you, we have to read Miranda to you and all that stuff.
Understood.
So we'll talk to you more about that once we get down to the office.
That makes sense. Yeah, absolutely.
We don't want to violate your rights or anything like that. So we want to make sure we do it all clean and good like that. So.
Understood. Thank you.
So we'll just walk over here. If you could stand by the 911. I just gotta pat you down, make sure there aren't any weapons on you.
Do you want me to face you? So
Yeah, that's fine. Cigarettes, okay. Lighter.
I have my
Just gonna
wallet
take
and
this stuff off.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's totally fine. Maybe some trash in there.
Yeah, no, you're good, man.
And then you're more than welcome to take my chain if you need.
Just make things easier. Yeah, chains up there. You got a bag or something?
Yes.
Oh no, I'm talking to my partner so we don't lose any of your stuff.
Thanks, buddy.
That's a coin pocket.
Yeah, it's a little coin. You can take whatever's in there. Probably a guitar pick and a little chip.
Chip. Yeah, guitar pick. Anything else in here? Oh, this doesn't have a coin pocket on it.
And I do have this necklace as well.
Yeah, we'll leave that on. We'll deal with that later.
Gotcha. Again, thank you guys for making it discreet.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it.
So before we head down to the police department, that's where I'm going to advise you of your rights and things like that, because I do want to have a conversation with you, similar, the same thing that I wanted to have with you on Monday.
Right.
Okay. Something to think about on the way over there. The more information that you provide to me, and the more honest you are for me, I'm not shitting you when I tell you this. It's going to be easier for you, and it's going to be better for you. Okay. It's just something to think about, and I trust you. I don't think you're a bad guy. Okay. I just want you to keep that in mind. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Drive the truck. Where's the stuff?
Oh, it's in the front seat, in the middle of the front seat. All right, brother. Just head on those doors back there. And just head straight that way where it says authorized personnel. Squeeze right in front of you. We're going to go in this room right here, yes, sir. Let me get those cuffs off you, man. Don't need to be wearing those. So I put one upside down, so. All right, man. Do you want anything? A cup of water?
No, I'm okay.
Okay. I will be right back. I'm gonna grab something.
Understood.
Alright, man. Well, you know me, just from our brief interactions. My name's Officer Shannon. This is Sergeant Ballard. So he's just going to be sitting in while we just talk, okay? Like I told you in the car, before I ask you any questions or anything, I don't think you're a bad guy. Okay? I really don't. I'm not messing with you in any sort of way. I don't. Okay? I know it's difficult. I know it's uncomfortable. I would like if you just talk to me as if we're just friends on the street or we just met, okay? Just chilling, alright? So, that being said, I'm going to read you your rights, okay?
Thank you.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in court. You have the right to consult with an attorney and have an attorney present during any questioning. If you cannot afford an attorney, one can be provided to you before questioning at no cost. Do you understand those rights as I read them to you?
The Miranda rights.
Yes. If you just want to initial those for me, man, just to cover you, 'cause those are your rights.
Initial here, and
Yeah. So, having those rights in mind, do you wish to talk to me about everything?
yeah, I don't think I'm gonna need a lawyer.
Okay.
Just be wasting their time. You know. Yeah, yes.
And then you could just sign right there.
You got it.
Alrighty. Okie doke. So, with everything, I know we've already talked about the incident just briefly when me and Sergeant Savine came and talked to you about the Snapchat stuff and things like that. I'd like it if we could just start from the beginning on that night because you seem to remember what you did and everything like that. So I'd like to just start from the beginning,
Right.
and starting from
well-
when you got off to what you did that night,
Right.
and just go from there.
I would
okay?
like to kind of clear the air. I did 50 you guys in the beginning.
Okay.
So we'll just start from the beginning.
Okay.
So that was a Tuesday, right?
Yes.
The 25th was the Tuesday. I got off work at about 11:30. I went down to Nova, met with some friends, Zarek and these two girls. Just first name basis really with those guys. We had a few drinks, started driving around. We were all over the place. We were in Old Colorado City, we went up to Gold Camp, so on and so forth. Eventually did end up in the Manitou Cemetery. And I don't even really know where to start with that. So we were there for a little while. There was some drugs involved, specifically cocaine. Not that that matters.
I don't care about that
Right,
stuff.
yeah, that's insignificant.
But I'm happy that you're being honest. That
Right.
means a lot to me.
Yeah, thank you. You know, we kind of got a little belligerent, and then the next thing I know, and I'm not trying to like take any blame off of me because I was there, but it started off with Zarek and this other girl, Brittany, I believe is what her name was, because there was Brittany and Miranda. they started fucking around and smashing pots and kicking over headstones, and it started off, you know, the like little dirt path, the little like circular dirt path behind that mausoleum.
Yes.
So that's where it started. We were parked there. I was very hesitant for the first, you know, few incidences, and then I ended up pushing over like one or two myself, but mostly it was just I was there, which doesn't change the fact of, you know, anything. Still associated with that. Obviously, you can understand why I fibbed, because I know it's like how serious it was and how, like, pardon my language, but how fucked up that cemetery was. Afterwards, I saw the news articles, I saw the pictures and everything, and like, not that remorse has anything to do with what's happening or whatever, but a big part of me was like, oh fuck, like that's fucked up, and if you know I get caught, then it's like over for me, because I'm more or less a good noodle. Like I've never until after I turned 18, I've like never broken the law except like a traffic ticket here and there.
Yeah.
Again, insignificant, but just yeah. So naturally, I was kind of just like, oh shit, well, like, you know, if I fess up, I don't know what's gonna happen, or like whatever. And you know, I kept seeing the news articles and like the reward and whatnot, everything along those lines. So naturally, I kind of tried to revert into like my shell and just sort of brush it off and kind of forget that it ever happened. That's basically it. Yeah. So I was there. I did, whether it had been like one or two, it doesn't matter, but I did have a hand in that. Nothing crazy, again, but insignificant. But I was there, and yeah, so there's that. And obviously that's like me admitting guilt. So I don't really, like I said, I haven't been in a situation like this like ever, so I don't really know where it goes from here. But yeah, so.
I knew you were a good guy.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that feels a little better than holding on to that.
Yeah, it does. Not that it's gonna change anything, but I do apologize for giving you the runaround and like lying and whatnot, and more or less avoiding you. So.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Okay, I just want to get some details.
Right.
Okay. Again, thanks. Okay.
Yeah.
About what time did you leave work?
I left work at about 11:30. It was just in time for me to get to the bar, have a drink, and then leave with these people because they closed at midnight, I think.
So you got to the bar like 11:10, 11:15?
No, so I got off at like 11:30.
Oh, okay.
Their last call is at 12.
Okay.
So Supernova is like a 5-minute drive from my work downtown.
Yeah.
So I just drove right over there.
Right on.
We ended up closing it down, but I think they closed it. They just changed their hours, but it was 12:30. So I got there at like, we'll say like 11:35, enough to have a drink, smoke a cigarette, and then just kick it with these guys until, you know, they closed up and kicked us all out.
About 12:30. Okay.
About 12:30, I'd say.
Okay. What kind of car do you drive?
I drive a Lincoln, a town car Lincoln, 1992.
92.
It's gold with like a black top.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So about 12:30, that's when you met with the girls?
Yeah. So
Is that Supernova?
So I usually go there every night, anyways, just for a quick drink.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
So I ended up going there, and that's where I had met Zarek there maybe like, you know, a couple weeks prior, maybe even a month or two prior. And that's always just, he was always there, I was always there. We just kind of meet up, have a drink, smoke a cigarette, whatever. I show up to have my nightly drink, and he's there with these two girls already.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, hey, how are you? Let's hang out, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So
And when did you first meet those girls?
that night.
That night,
Yeah.
okay.
And,
What were their names again?
It was Miranda and Brittany.
Miranda and Brittany.
And it was just first name basis. Like, it was just kind of like oh, look at these pretty girls, let's go hang out with them.
Yeah,
and
that's cool.
Run amok or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So about your age? Or
Yeah,
our
well,
age, rather?
Yeah, I'd say like early 20s, maybe like mid 20s.
Okay.
Old enough to drink, so.
Sure. What do they look like?
So Miranda had red hair, and I remember her.
Like natural red or blonde or dyed red?
It was like a dark, like dyed red.
Dyed red, like
yeah.
burgundy.
Yeah, like a burgundy. Yeah,
Cool.
That's a good way to describe it. And then Brittany had blonde hair. That night, because I was actually thinking about this the first time we talked about each other. We talked. I was trying to remember exactly what they were wearing, But Miranda was like in a white shirt and like leggings. I do remember that. I'm not so sure about Brittany because she wasn't like my main focus that night, if that makes any sense.
Miranda was.
Yeah, Miranda was.
Cool.
And we were hitting it off. It was an okay time, you know, just a little bar crawl more or less.
Yeah, no,
that's
that's totally cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Zarek was there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you know his info or?
I don't at all. I looked for him on Facebook. I ended up deactivating my Facebook for like personal reasons. But before I did that, I ended up like trying to search his name, all this stuff, seeing if we had any mutual friends. Because you know, a lot of the people that go to Nova are like, what's the word I'm looking for? Frequent like goers.
Yeah,
so
sure.
like we all kind of just are sort of in this group of people that, you know, you can go there and see anybody to have a beer with or whatever.
Yeah.
And like I had said to you yesterday, I was actually actively going to those bars. Like I went to Nova West to see if he'd been going there. We went back to Supernova, even Tony's, because occasionally we would go over to Tony's for like a shot and then back. And no one had seen him in like quite a while since the incident, essentially.
Yeah. What were you gonna talk to him about if you saw him?
I was gonna let him know that you guys were talking to me and that like, well, you were saying you wanted to have him, you know, contact you, so I was gonna give him your business card and like kind of go from there.
Okay.
And just more or less like figure out what the hell to do, like whether we do the right thing or whatever. You know, it's like not necessarily like that black and white, but
I know. Yeah. And I understand not wanting to give up like a friend and things like. I mean.
And more so than anything, he's an acquaintance, just a drinking buddy. Like, it wasn't.
I have those two. I get it. Yeah.
So.
Okay. So you're with them three.
Mm-hmm.
Which car did you end up driving around that?
We took Miranda's car.
Okay.
And
that's the Subaru.
This Forester Subaru. I think it was like a silver, maybe like a light blue.
Okay.
It's a newer one. I don't really know Foresters very well, but
okay.
Yeah, that was the vehicle.
Right on. So from Supernova, you went, and where did you go from there?
Specifically, we went to Gold Camp first.
Okay.
Because like I'm sure you've been up there many different times. That's where a lot of kids go to like smoke and drink and whatever else. So
it's cool.
You got a nice view and whatever. So we went up there. They had already had the cocaine on them, Miranda and Brittany.
Is that who brought that? The
Yeah,
girls?
they didn't bring it up until we were at Gold Camp because I had a joint on me, and so we were like, let's go up to Gold Camp, smoke, kick it, talk, whatever. So we were there for probably about, I'd say like maybe an hour, honestly, 45 minutes to an hour. Then from there, we were driving through Old Colorado City, just kind of those like little back roads and stuff, and eventually made our way to the Manitou Cemetery from Old Colorado City.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Cool. So, got to the cemetery. Were you guys already using the cocaine and stuff?
Yeah, we had done it all by that point. We like the time that we left Gold Camp, it had all been gone. So we're just like, let's drive and listen to music and whatever. So
the beer cans. Tell me about
Right.
those.
So those beer cans were not for me. Like I told you, I hardly drink beer. I mostly drink shitty whiskey. I know that sounds dumb, but if I'm gonna drink beer, it's gonna be a craft beer. I don't really beer doesn't work well with me at all.
Yeah.
Those beers were from. So I know because it was PBR, and I think there was a bottle of Sailor Jerry's too. The PBRs were already Miranda's, and then the Sailor Jerry's was Zarek's, and he had that in his backpack the whole time.
Right on.
Brought it out like last moment. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what time would you think that you got to the cemetery approximately?
So let me think about the timeline. So we left the bar at like 12:30, maybe about 20 minutes up to Gold Camp, there for about an hour. Maybe like 2:30-ish,
Okay.
I'd say would be approximately like between 2 and 3.
Okay.
I do remember leaving after 3 o'clock because, you know, the witching hour or whatever.
Yeah.
So we did stay through 3 o'clock, and I
Yeah.
don't remember necessarily leaving what time we left from there. But if I had to guess, it was probably about 3:15, 3:30.
Okay.
So we got there at like 2:30, and we're there for probably about an hour.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just for reference, the story that you posted was like 3:45 to 4-ish.
Oh, gotcha.
So that makes sense.
Mhm.
Just walk me through how this event started. Once you got to the cemetery, how did it started, why, when, all those questions.
Right. So, first of all, not that it like really matters, but it was that the blood moon was that night. So that was something everyone were like, you know,
Spooky,
right?
cool.
Yeah, whatever.
No, I'm with
Hence
that.
why we went to the cemetery in the first place.
Yeah, I like that stuff too.
Right. Yeah. So we ended up getting out of the vehicle. We kind of just like walked because there's the newer like less filled areas like up there.
Yeah.
So we like went up into the field for a while and just sat there and we were like doing like prayers or rituals or whatever and like drinking, smoking cigarettes. And then as we made our way back to the car, Brittany and Zarek started walking down to the little house that's at like the entrance. And so as we're like passing our car right here, because there's a bunch of like, so the dirt area, there's like tombstones that are like up in this area. So that's when it started. I think it was more just like a kind of a pissing contest, like, oh, look how cool I am.
Yeah.
And Zarek kicked one over, and then
Yeah.
she picks up one of the little like vases and just smashes it on the concrete. And then from there, like as we're following them, and again, like I'm not even gonna lie, there was a couple that I knocked down as well. But they just started raging, like as we're walking down to this house. So again, like this is the entrance to the cemetery. House is here. We're parked like here. So we walk down this way, go across, and then walk back up and back to the car. And at that point, it had been like more or less like everything in the path on the way there and back was fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then back to the field, kicked it for a while, watched the stars, watched the moon. Then we actually got on top of the roof of the mausoleum.
Yeah.
Because it's only like maybe like 6 foot, 7 foot from
Yeah,
the
it's
back
pretty
end, so you
short.
can just pull yourself up on there.
Yeah.
Laid up there for a while, listened to music, like making out with these girls. Then we get back in the car and leave after that. So that's essentially everything that happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of stuff was damaged other than like the gravestones?
So again, it was all, as far as I know, it was like just gravestones and the little pots, because like
Yeah.
we were just pushing over gravestones. There's little urns here and there. I think there was a bottle that was chucked at the house that got smashed. I believe that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Was there? I mean, I don't know if there's anything to add to that.
Right. So those are the vases,
Right.
the headstones pushed over. Some were cracked,
Right.
damaged, or just pushed over.
Right.
Where did like lighters come into play?
Oh, okay. I did forget about that. So, Sailor Jerry's isn't like super flammable, but those vines on the back end of that brick building.
Yeah.
Zarek started just pouring the liquor and like trying to set it on fire, and then there was a little like plastic bouquet of like flowers that he ended up catching on fire and throwing it down underneath because it like kindled it a bit.
Yeah.
And then I actually ended up putting it out by peeing on it because it started to get relatively big.
Yeah.
I mean, for just like a fire in general,
Yeah.
like an unkept fire.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That sounds scary.
yeah, I mean, it was like, oh fuck, dude. Like that's when it kind of sank in. Like, oh shit. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And then yeah, so that was right before because we were on top of the mausoleum, got off. That happened. We pissed, and I was like, we gotta get out of here. Like, we need to leave. So then we got in the car and left from there. I did forget about that part.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's a big event. It's a big incident.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Also, you're having fun, you're intoxicated, whatever. Like I forget a lot of stuff too.
Right,
That was me.
right.
What else was burned in the cemetery? There was some other things.
So there was that little spot behind the mausoleum that it was just like plastic flowers and the vines. Sorry, I'm trying to replay it through my head. Because that's all I remember it being burned was behind that little shack, that little like concrete mausoleum. It was all isolated in that area. And again, like plastic flowers and like dead vines.
Yeah.
And so that's it.
Okay. Besides you and Zarek, did the girls had part in kicking some of these things over,
Yeah,
or breaking some
absolutely.
of the things?
It was all of us. And again, I'm not trying to like redirect the blame by any means, but I was very hesitant. I maybe only did like 2 or 3 of them, but still being there and a part of it, whatever.
Yeah.
More so not saying anything about stopping it, I feel like. But it was mostly all of us, but it was mostly like these 3 people. And Brittany and Zarek were just bouncing off of each other all
Gotcha.
night. Like, oh, we're gonna do that. Well, check how cool this is, and
Yeah.
so on and so forth. So
What was the point of doing that? Like, was it a ritual kind of thing to you guys, like, or funny, or what was it?
I just kind of followed along. I don't think there really was a point.
Just being wild.
I think, yeah, just being wild, and more so than anything, just like showing off, which like I think it's a dumb like way to show off, but again, like just like trying to be a fucking bad boy, badass kind of thing. So
Yeah, I mean, I think that you're a good guy. I think that you made a silly mistake.
I think so too, and I feel really fucking shitty for lying about it and stuff as well. So
Okay. So, kicked over the stuff, you did a few loops, lit the other things on fire, you peed on it to get it out.
yeah,
Tell me about the
like the drive
the
back.
picture.
Oh, so the picture, so I don't even remember taking that. And I went back into my phone and looked through, like, to see if I had saved it in my story or anything, because, like, there's an option to, like, save your snaps and look at them later. And I had not saved it by the time I was, like, the first time I had seen that photo was when you showed it to me.
Yeah.
And because I just don't really check my Snapchat a whole lot. That, what I assumed was in the back of Miranda's car, and it was me and Zarek. So you mistook Zarek for me because of like the gauges and the facial hair, but I was the one in like the bottom corner, and that was him.
Okay.
I don't remember taking that photo. Pretty wasted, I won't lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
Okay.
that's what happens, I guess.
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
I've had those nights. And I get that. What happened to the headstone?
So the headstone we ditched. I want to say, so as we were like, so there's a second cemetery. I don't remember exactly where it's at, but it's like relatively like in old Colorado City-ish.
Yeah.
It's like just got like the little small metal fences. We dumped it in that cemetery and then left.
Okay.
So it's like as we were leaving, and again they're like relatively close to each other. I don't remember exactly where that other cemetery is, but as we, because Miranda was driving and had to take Zarek back to his car downtown, and they dropped me off at home because I took an Uber to work that day because I was planning on going out and drinking and not wanting to drive and whatnot because I just can't do that personally. So as we were leaving the cemetery, somewhere after that picture was taken and before we got downtown to Zarek's car, we dumped it in that other cemetery and then left from there.
The one closest to like Rudy's and like the 26th Street.
26th, yeah, exactly. That's the one.
Okay. So the old Red Gold Camp and all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly. Because Gold Camp's like maybe like a couple miles. At least Lower Gold Camp Road is like right around that area. So.
Okay. Do you know what kind of cars Eric drives roughly?
I think it's a Subaru also, but
It's a sedan, hatchback.
I think it's an Impreza, but it's like the newer one, so it doesn't like I don't really know. I'm pretty sure it's a Subaru. It's either a Subaru or a Toyota, but it sort of looks like it'd be a hatchback, but the top doesn't like open in the back, and it's I don't even know how to explain it, man. I've seen it a couple times. I've never been in it. It's also relatively new. It's like silver. I think it's a Subaru. I'm pretty sure it's a Subi, but it's a 4-door for sure, and it looks like a hatchback if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
but
that's okay.
I don't really know.
Do you know what he does for work?
I don't actually. I think he used to work in the weed industry because he's always just like, look at these new, goodies and stuff that I got.
Gotcha.
But
Is he pretty well off then, you think?
as far as I know, yeah, he's never once been like, oh, I'm too broke to have a drink. So I would assume he's pretty well off. Yeah.
Yeah. The girls get a number.
No, I didn't get their numbers personally. It was just kind of like a one and done thing.
So, okay.
And again, how I described to you the first time we talked. They were friends of Zarek's, so Zarek like invited them to the bar.
Yeah,
and
I just figured since you were kissing one and stuff, you might have got their number.
Yeah, naturally I should have, but
Yeah.
But no, it was just like I just was kind of there and then gone from there. So.
Okay. You mentioned to me when the first time I talked to you that you had a girlfriend, or that you used to. Do you still?
I was married. I've been single for like 2 years.
Okay, if you just said that last time you were in the cemetery, you were making out with your girlfriend or whatever.
Oh, right. So yeah, I did mention that, and that was more of like a hypothetical. Like,
sure.
Like every time I had been there prior, I had just been to go like make out with girls or whatever, you know, and then like leave or go to Gold Camp for like similar reasons.
Yeah.
But no, I've been single for quite a while, so.
Okay. Okay. Let me look at some stuff that I wrote down really quick.
Gotcha.
You got some cuts and stuff on your hands or any of those from like knocking stuff over?
Oh no, so this is from cooking, and then like.
Yeah, I know your job. I'm sure it gets banged
Yeah,
up all the time.
all this stuff's from like, that's from my flat top, just like mostly cooking. This was just like me being dumb and sad, I guess. You know, nothing crazy, like it is what it is. But yeah, no, none of this stuff is from like any of the cemetery stuff or anything like that. Yeah.
So you took an Uber. The girl, after everything happened,
Miranda dropped me off at home.
dropped you off at home.
Yeah, and so currently my living situation's actually really fucked up.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
I had been couch hopping for a while. I'm more or less like living in my car, and this is like a sub story, but I was planning on in about 2 to 3 weeks I was actually going to be moving to Oklahoma to go take care of my mom out in Alva. But you know, like whatever happens, happens, and we'll figure it out from there.
Yeah.
But I had just been down on my luck for such a long time. Specifically, so I had this apartment over off of airport, and then just me and my roommate at the time didn't do very well. I wasn't on the lease, so they gave me like, you know, the squatter's rights. You have 30 days to get out. Got out. I sort of living in my car at the time. Met some friends. I like bounced between like 4 or 5 of my friends' houses occasionally, or just like sleep in their like parking lot in my car. But that's just, yeah, that's not here nor there. But that's been my living situation recently. So.
Okay. What street are you staying on? Like, I know you said more or less in your car, but when you do sleep in a house, what street is that?
So usually I'm up north off of it's like Barnes and Ora Blanco. It's like a little apartment over there.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I forget exactly what it's called, but it's literally right next to Doherty. So my friends have an apartment there. Pardon me. My friends have an apartment there that I mostly just sleep in the parking lot. And then often I sleep downtown, like in my car off that little street, like side street off Cascade. Because it's just like if I'm low on gas for the week or whatever, like I can just park it there, sleep there, go to work, so on and so forth. It's mostly just those 2 areas. Occasionally, like I'll meet a friend at like the bar. Like I have this guy named Phil who sort of lives up north too, off of Austin Bluffs. Every now and again, if I'm just like out of luck or whatever, if I meet him at a bar, he's like, hey man, like, can I get a ride home? And I'll give him a ride home and just like kind of crash outside of his house as well. So
Yeah. Okay. As far as the other people go, I know you said that you've been trying to contact Zarek, not Zarek, Zarek, right?
He says it's Eric. So,
Zarek, okay.
But it's spelled all weird. I don't even know how he spells it, honestly.
If you were to suggest to me how to get in contact with him or the girls, what would you say?
I think so. I looked for him on Facebook for quite a while. Facebook would probably be the best, but I couldn't guarantee, I couldn't be able to help you because I don't know their last names. Like again, it's just first name basis. I don't like Facebook is probably like, I'm sure you guys use Facebook all the time to like track people down or whatever. Facebook would probably be the best. Instagram maybe, but again, I haven't been able to find Zarek like at all. I think he might have like tuck-tailed and run after all that stuff went down. So like, yeah, I'd say Facebook. And then like Miranda and Brittany, they're like best friends allegedly. So I'm sure like, I know in the search bar of like Facebook, if you like type like certain names or whatever and like locations, like Miranda and Brittany, you might be able to like get, you know, like a photo that they posted together or something along those lines.
Yeah.
And again, Miranda was the redhead, Brittany was blonde. They're very thin, pretty women. Miranda had a bunch of tattoos.
Did they go to school or anything?
I didn't really ask them.
Did they mention working or anything like that?
I know Miranda was a dancer, but I don't know if she was still doing that. I think she was doing like OnlyFans kind of stuff.
Okay.
So and I didn't really talk to Brittany a whole lot. So.
Dancer like in town, you think, or like up?
She was saying she mostly danced in Denver, but she hasn't been doing that like since COVID, essentially. So she's like, I guess what they call like a sugar baby.
Yeah.
So she just kind of does stuff like that.
Okay.
Is what I got out of it at least.
Okay. Okay. All right. I want to just grab something really quick. I need you to look at it and tell me a little bit about it.
That's fine.
How far into that cemetery did you guys drop that headstone, or just kind of like off the side?
Is this the one that you ditched?
Yeah, that's definitely the one.
And is that the one that's in this picture?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay. So this is Zarek,
Yes, sir.
and that's you. Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was the other way around.
Yeah, so that's that's
Yeah.
definitely what he thought. And when I met you, I was wearing my glasses too at the time.
Yeah, right.
I actually have like really long hair. I usually keep it up. So yeah, you can kind of tell that my hair's down in that. But
Okay. When you ditched this, did you break it or anything? Was it broken or anything like that?
so we just tossed it out. Like so, there's like little ditches right before you like on the side of the cemetery. We literally just opened the door and chucked it out right then and there.
Gotcha.
It took off. Didn't
Gotcha.
think twice about it. So
Okay. All right. All right, man. I will be right back. You do want a cup of water or anything?
I think I'll take some water. Yeah.
Sure, I can get that for you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate
Be right
that.
back, okay?
You need to get out.
Yeah, I'll take this stuff for you. All right. Ran out of plastic cups, but I promise this is clean.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay. So at this point, you're in some trouble. Okay.
Absolutely. And I was actually going to ask, again, because I've never been in situations like this, so I'm assuming I'm probably going to be, like, detained tonight, right?
Yeah.
And what, spend however long till court, or?
Yeah. So usually how it works, you're gonna go to jail today,
Gotcha.
and then you'll see a judge who's gonna advise you of your charges. Being that it's Friday, it might not happen until Monday.
Okay, so I'll probably spend the weekend in jail.
Yeah,
But I'll be,
at least.
would I be able to, so I know you guys have, like, my cell phone and stuff, but would I be able to call my mother? I don't know her number by heart.
You can get it. I'll give you a chance to get out of your phone and
That
stuff
would
for
be
sure.
awesome.
Yeah.
And then, so, Monday, I'll just,
Yeah. So that's gonna be up to the judge if they're gonna release you or not. Which I honestly I think they would. They don't hold a lot of people right now due to all the COVID stuff.
right.
But yeah, I'll give you a chance to get the phone numbers out that you need.
I really
Any phone
appreciate
numbers will let you write them down, everything like that.
Thank you.
Obviously, treat you with decency. Okay.
We do appreciate that. And again, this is like a new process to me. Like I spent some time in juvie as a kid, so I don't really know like what to be expecting, and guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, being that
I think I'll be all right.
I think you'll be okay too.
Because I mean, I don't know. Again, I don't know how it works. So like, am I gonna be like most likely with someone else, like in a
In
cell?
the jail?
Like in a cell.
Yeah, at first,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it just kind of depends, but yeah. There'll be other people with you. Before we get there, so you know the situation you're going through, I need to know about the other people.
Right. I promise you, I have no other way to contact them. I don't know their last names.
Does
I
anyone
just-
else from work go to the Supernova with you?
Nobody goes to bars with me out there. Most of them are a lot younger than me too, which isn't saying much. But
Right.
if there's anywhere you'd be able to at least find Zarek, or maybe like an old receipt paper with his like name on it, it would be Supernova.
Did you go there and talk to the bartender or anything?
Yeah, so I didn't really like, hey, like, can you find Zarek for me? It was more like, has Zarek been around anytime recently? And so I went there, and they're like, maybe check Nova West. So I went to Nova West after they opened. I was actually there last night as well, and nothing from Zarek. And then those two girls, they just kind of like disappeared out of my life, essentially, after that night. But yeah, like I'm telling you everything that I know, man, and I wish I could help you more. Like,
Yeah, because I want to help you.
I know, and that's what I figured is like it's all gonna come down on me if no one else is able to.
We're gonna do our
be
due
accountable
diligence
for it.
to find them,
Right.
but you're the best source of information. You know what I mean? The
Understood.
bartenders, is it like the same one usually when you go?
It's like a rotation of three. There's like two blonde girls and like a guy.
Okay.
And they've been there for as long as I've been going there. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
You never seen Zarek in like a company shirt?
No, he's always in like a beanie and then like a button up usually. No logos or anything like that.
What about the girls? Anything that would be?
So Miranda has whole sleeve. And again, she used to dance, but she said she mostly danced in Denver. I've never been to the clubs up there.
They white girls?
Yeah, they're both white girls.
Okay.
And again, like sleek, like Brittany's kind of like well endowed, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And Brittany had no visible tattoos, but Miranda had an entire sleeve right here.
Okay.
So there's that, and I would assume, I mean, I don't know about, like, so Brittany was definitely a natural blonde, so I assume her hair is probably still blonde. I'm not so sure about Miranda being, like, an alternative girl, but her hair was burgundy, like that dark red at the time, so.
And you said they're, like, best girlfriends and stuff?
Yeah, they allegedly hang out all the time.
Okay.
If you saw a picture of these girls, would you be able to ID them again?
Yeah, most likely.
Okay.
I'm not so sure about Brittany, but I could definitely identify Miranda.
Okay.
That was the one that was keen on you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Because we might reach out to you later and see if you can help us ID these people.
I'd be happy to do
And,
that.
you know, we'll help you out where we can as far as, you know, that stuff goes. As long as you cooperate with us. Like you said, you've been cooperating with us so far. I mean,
Right.
the running us around a little bit, but that's
Yeah.
something we're not used to.
I can imagine. It's
But-
probably some of the easier things to do.
Yeah, but like Sergeant Ballard said, you know, on a personal level, I appreciate you cooperating with me. That will be noted and everything going forward, okay, as far as today goes.
Right. As far as like, and just a couple questions, just so I kind of
Absolutely.
understand like,
Anything.
what I'm going to be looking at. So, under the circumstances of being charged with criminal mischief, is that like a felony or misdemeanor or?
So the level that it is with the damage that was caused, it's a felony.
Gotcha. And so, I would most likely be looking at like real jail time, like a year or two, depending on what happens.
If your
hypothetically.
record's as clean as you say it is, it's doubtful.
Gotcha.
It wasn't
a fine
violent.
in
It wasn't
community
violent
service.
in nature.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what typically amps those things up.
Gotcha.
And, you know, multiple offenses.
Right.
So it's doubtful that would be something you'd be looking at.
Right. And then so like regardless, I would still be charged, like hypothetically again, I would still be charged with that felony, making it to where I couldn't leave Colorado for a allotted amount of time. Is that how it works? Or
Just as long as you make your court date, it'd
Gotcha.
be fine. There's no restrictions of keeping you in state.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because again, like I mentioned earlier, like ideally, like obviously I'll figure it out now, but my last day in Colorado was gonna be the 15th. My mom was very, very sick, so I was moving out to Oklahoma to be with her. Which I'm not trying to get sympathy by any means, but that's something I'm gonna have to sort of figure out. Like, so if I'm spending the weekend in jail, I'll see a judge on Monday, and they're gonna decide whether or not.
It might be Tuesday, actually.
Or Tuesday,
Because
yeah.
of the holiday, now
That
that I
makes
think
sense.
about
And
it.
it could be this is a bondable crime, so it could be that you could get to bond out. I'm not sure.
Right.
It depends on what the jail says.
And how do bonds work actually? Like I've
So
never really
if
looked
you have
into
somebody that can go to a bail bondsman on your behalf, they usually pay like 10% of whatever the bond will be.
it. Right. Okay.
I think this case is what, $3-4 grand.
Yeah.
So it'd be like $400.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
as long as you show up to court, then no one's going to be liable for that and everything. That's how
That's
bondsmen
the
work.
bonds work. So if you
Oh,
don't show up to
gotcha.
court, that's when bail bondsmen come after you and stuff like that. So
Interesting. And then obviously, so like the bails, so it's like kind of getting like a loan
Exactly.
from them. So I would eventually have to pay all that back as far as bonds go.
How it works is you give them the money, and they front you, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then usually that money goes towards court costs afterwards. But yeah, you end up paying that money essentially.
Gotcha.
If you're found guilty and all that other stuff.
Right.
So-
Of course. So with the chance of it being bondable, I might not necessarily have to spend the next 4 days in jail, right? Just the 24 hours.
Potentially, it'll be up to the jail.
Gotcha.
So like we don't deal with a lot of that stuff.
Right, of
And
course
they could require that you see a judge. I'm not 100% sure. I'm just leveling with you. I'm not 100% sure.
And I appreciate that because again, like
so-
I don't know what I'm looking at. So
So it's either one of the two. One, they'll tell you got to see a judge, or they'll let you bond immediately. Or whenever they're done, it takes a couple hours to get booked in there.
right.
So yeah, it's one of the two options.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I don't really think I have any more questions. This is a stretch, and I know like the answer is most likely no, but before you guys take me, would I be able to take a couple drags off of a cigarette and then we can go down there? Feel free to say no. It's just like,
I do that for you.
that would be awesome, man. I'd really appreciate
I
that.
do that for you. Can you wait a little bit?
Yeah, no, as long as you guys need. Just like, before like.
We gotta get some
take
paperwork
me
done
down.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Absolutely.
So we'll have you come down to a holding cell down here.
Okay.
And have a seat for a little while.
Absolutely.
And then before you take off, whoever's gonna transport you will let you take a couple drags.
I
Make
really
sure that
appreciate
Hey, I
happens.
promise.
Thank
I
you,
promise.
guys. Sweet.
While you're sitting in here, while I'm doing the paperwork, it might be a little bit okay. But
Yeah,
I'll
no,
try to get it
that's
as
totally
done.
fine.
It's not a comfortable place to say it's small. It's a small holding cell, okay. But that's where we're gonna go, okay.
That's fine.
Do you need to use the restroom or anything before you sit in there?
Yeah, I'd like to. Okay. Thank you, guys. I do appreciate it.
No problem, man. Just follow me.
Yes, sir.
Sit on here, man. I can't let you close the door, buddy. I'll crack it for you.
Just make sure you get the
What do you do that?
Yeah.
Michael Burkle, for PR1 and hold it to confirm that you're like, it's, yeah, we can't do something. Yeah. So,
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no
I'm
problem.
assuming this guy.
Yep, so before we go in there, I need you to take your shoes off and
Absolutely.
then take your hat off. And then if you're wearing a belt, that.
Sir. I'm assuming that's for like people attempting to take their life kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's just
That's
to
sad.
everybody. With the, those are cool Doc Martens, by the way.
Thank you.
Are they real?
Yeah,
Those are expensive.
those were actually gifted to me.
Oh, nice.
I got a lot of pair of Docs. That's just kind of my thing.
Is
Hair
that
tie?
that's okay. Is that an easy necklace to take off?
Oh yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna look at the pictures real
No, no
quick.
problem.
Oh. Working, what are you doing? Hello?
I don't know, man. You can just drop it in your boot. And then, were you wearing a belt at all?
No, sir.
Okay. Just go ahead and face this wall really quick. I'm just gonna pat you
here
down
I
one
have-
time. Yeah, that's us. Just make sure.
We're at,
Go ahead.
Right on. Is that stuff you want to hold on to that you placed in there?
Yeah,
The
might
one-
as well.
Okay. You want that bottle
we
cap?
can probably head up on-
I
Okay.
think we can pass it.
But you never know. I mean, sometimes people say they're lucky or whatever.
Cool. Really, really good.
All right.
Yeah.
Just have some here. If you need anything, just let me know, okay? If you need to go to the bathroom again or you want some more water, I'll try to be as quick as I can.
Do what you gotta do.